it's really cold this morning. Okay, you know, it's not Arctic cold, as I quite often say, but it's cold for here. So I've let the birds out and fed them. I've broken the ice on the water buckets, and actually the hose pipe, even though it lays across the top of the ground and is covered in frost, very nicely worked this morning to top up the duck pond. So that's all good, and I've just come out to the vegetable garden because I really like frost on the leaves, and I'm kind of looking around, and part of it's frosted and part of it isn't. It's a fresh day, I think, is the best way to describe it. It's a fresh. Now, the chickens, they didn't look terribly impressed at the cold this morning, but as soon as they'd had something to eat, they were up and running around again. And the ducks, I don't know how the ducks do it. They're straight into ice cold water and having a wash. Well, apart from being frosty, look at this. It looks like today we are going to be having purple sprouting broccoli. Yummy. There they are over there. Gosh, but rather them than me. So yes, let's have a look at the frost a little bit. It's looking very pretty on the strawberry bed, and you know, it even looks pretty on here. Isn't that lovely? Now, I really am not a fan of cold weather. Being out here for just the last 5 minutes to do a little bit of recording and to have a little look around. I've got a Raynaud's attack going on one hand. Don't know if that's the right word, attack, but I've got Raynaud's happening on one hand, which means that half my fingers have gone white, the top half. And let's get back inside in the warm. Yeah, so Raynaud's is one of those. Raynaud's is another one of those autoimmune conditions that seem to come for no good reason at all. But yes, somewhere along the line, the blood vessels contract more than they should, which cuts off the blood supply to the ends of my fingers, and it's unfortunately Raynaud's seems to be a very common. Let's get out the chaos of there. Yeah, and unfortunately Raynaud's seems to be an increasingly common problem for people. So that's that little grizzle over, but yeah, my hands are oh, they hurt. So what am I going to do today? I actually have no idea. I've still got a load of cooking that I need to do. And excuse me, try and warm them up a bit. Yeah, load of cooking and horrible things like, you know, ironing and putting away washing and all those kind of domestic-y things. Do I feel in the mood for any of those? Nah, not really. Do I ever feel in the mood for any of those? Well, yes, actually, I like cooking. And do you know what? I even like ironing. Don't tell Mr. J. I even like ironing when the mood takes me. When the mood takes me, I'm quite happy to iron away because I quite like the neatness at the end of it. Most of the time, not so much. I think it's time I made a cuppa. Somebody asked me the other day where I get my my crockery from, my cups and saucers and mugs, and as you can see, this very, very lovely little jug. These are made by a couple in Mid Wales, and the name of their business is Brixton Pottery, and they are online, and you can buy their stuff mail order. I'm not being sponsored by or supported by in any way Brixton Pottery, but I absolutely I love their spongeware. And look, on the saucer, a little cockerel. There you go. It's Brixton Pottery, and all the designs are applied by hand, like a spongeware. So little sponges to print the designs. I love them. I love them. They're not, if you wanted very delicate china, they're not very delicate china. They're very practical, everyday china. Not the cheapest in the world, admittedly. There are plenty of places you can go for much cheaper. But I love the shape. I love all the shapes of their products. So I've got everything from plates and bowls, teapots, coffee pots, milk jugs. It's taken me a long time. I first came across their work in 1988 or 9 or something like that. It was quite early on after they first started. It was probably in their first couple of years of business I found their products, and I have been quietly collecting them ever since. And because I'm a bit of a sad girl at times, if I break a mug, I glue it together and I keep it on the Welsh dresser. So the dresser, which is always packed full of just stuff, is mostly packed full with very much loved china and cups and saucers and things that I have absolutely loved having over the years, but they've got damaged or broken, and I just don't have the heart to throw them away. There must be stuff that you keep, even though it's long beyond its usefulness, just because you can't bear to throw it away because of its sentimental value. If you have, leave a comment below, just so we can share that we all have those little foibles of funny things that we hang on to. Now, I'm looking behind me over there. There's cake over there. It's 8:10 in the morning. Is it too early for a slice of cake? I've been up since 5:10, well, 5:15. It's 3 hours. Is that too early for cake? No, apparently it wasn't too early for cake at all. So, still haven't decided what we're doing today. As I sit here on what's now my second cup of tea, I can hear the ducks shouting. And they're shouting to be let out of their enclosure to go and have a moochie around the food forest again. Now, if you didn't see yesterday's vlog, please do have a look at it. It's nearly 15 minutes long, and it's 15 minutes. Do you know what? I'm only talking for about less than a minute of that. So less than me talking and just watching the ducks having a whale of a time, dibbling around in the food forest and paddling around in the wildlife pond. But today, I think it's too cold for me to sit outside with them for half an hour while they do that, so they'll have to stay in their enclosure. Their enclosure, it's not a small space. It's about 40 feet wide and about 130 feet long. It's a good old space, and it's got their pond and their house, well, 2 houses, and a covered pen, and it's got trees, and it's got a bit of a slope, and it's got some bits where they can get out of the wind. So actually it's got it's got plenty for them, so they don't really need to be dibbling in the food forest, although they're telling me they do. Oh, right, well, I'm getting decidedly cold sitting here, despite my warming cup of tea. It is quite nippy, just sitting still in the kitchen, so I need to go and get on with something, and because I want something that's going to warm me up, I guess it's going to be cooking today. And so, wherever you are in the world, and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope you have a few minutes to enjoy a cup of tea or coffee, and I also hope you can join me again tomorrow.